say yes, Leo Novsky. August 15th, 2012. My life was turned upside down when my wife, Dawn, left. Me alone with a 3-month-old baby son, Kai, to go back to work. That is when I became a stay-at-home dad. Mr. Toastmaster, my fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, I never intended to be a stay-at-home dad. But as my wife's belly grew, so did our decision that one of us should stay home and take care of Kai. I was the obvious choice. My wife has a real job and health insurance. No problem, I thought. This is going to be easy. The kid sleeps 16 hours a day. I can still play with him and do all my business. Right. I can see from your faces, you know how that delusion turned out. In a few days, I've learned 3 important lessons. 1, that when you're dealing with a milk-eating, diaper-soiling, insomnia-inducing baby, there is no such thing as multitasking. 2, you're lucky if you can get to shower before 5 p.m. And 3, baby boys can aim. Being a stay-at-home dad was the hardest job I've ever had to do. But not because of the diapers or insomnia. It was because of the perceptions that just because I am a male, a guy, that I can't do the job of raising my own son. If you have ever had to deal with a label just because of the way you look or the way you act, you know how devastating that can be. I faced that the first time I went out with Kai. It was 10 a.m. and I was shopping in Target with Kai hanging on my chest like a fashion accessory. A good-natured matron came up to me and says, "Oh, your baby is so cute." And then looking at me said, "A day off of work?" "No," I said, "I am a stay-at-home dad." "Really?" she said. "You know what you're doing?" "Where is your wife?" The next hit came from my best friend, Mike, who first asked me about how my job was going. I said, "I'm a stay-at-home dad." She said, "How was your milk supply?" I was embarrassed. Seeking support, I went to a parent support group at Evergreen Hospital. But sitting there with 12 mothers, I felt like an odd dad out. But then, as we were leaving, the facilitator said, "All right, ladies, see you all later." Oh no, I thought. You won't see this lady back here. Frustrated, I went home and vented to my wife. "It's not fair," I said. "Just because I'm a guy, they're telling me I can't be a good father." My wife just looked at me and said, "Leo, do you realize that I've been called guys all my life at work? That all major decisions happen when guys go to the bathroom break? Or that when they have to make a decision, they don't let me because I have baby brain?" All of a sudden, my own label of stay-at-home dad was put in perspective. I realized that the bias that I was feeling is just the tip of the iceberg from what women have to feel every day at work. It is not fair, I thought. I was ready to storm the ramparts and take no prisoners. What do we do about this? My wife just looked at me and said, "Leo, just say yes." "Say yes? Say yes to what? All I hear are no's." And my wife looked at me and said, "You can't control the no's in your life, but you can control what you do about it. So if you say yes to the opportunities that presented to you, you can change the label and empower yourself." And then she looked at me and said, "Leo, I have to go to work every day leaving my son Kai at home. And I know that he is in good hands because you are such a good dad. My wife was right. Again. So I decided to say yes to the experience of being a stay-at-home dad. I said yes to the ability to change diapers. And now I'm an accomplished diaper changer, and I can do it in 31 seconds flat, from poop to finish. I said yes to the experience and found a community of dads where we complain about our wives and compete on how many times we can lift our child above our heads. And most importantly, I said yes to the precious moments that I have with my son. Like last week, when my son tried to shimmy up the wall of his playpen only to fall back down. Startled, he looked at me, started to cry, and I did what any good father or Toastmaster would do in this case. I applauded his effort. And I said, come on, you can do it again. Screwing up his courage and concentration, Kai started to climb again, got his feet underneath him, pushed up, and then beamed at me with his toothless grin. That moment was worth every no. My fellow Toastmasters, it is not fair when we are judged by the way we look, by the way we act, or who we are. But if we say yes to their no's, we can prove them wrong and empower ourselves to act. So if you are facing a challenge that someone else tells you you can't do, say yes and do it. If you are told that you cannot complete something because of your age, shape, gender, say yes and accomplish it. And if you would like to find precious moments in your ordinary life, just say yes.